Would you like to create awesome applique designs just like the pros? Then this episode is for you. Today, I am teaching you a game-changing way of embroidering with applique that is fun, easy, and creates amazing results that I guarantee you'll love. Many beginners don't know there are actually two main methods for embroidering with applique. One, we place our material on top of the garment, stitch it in place with a tack down line, then we cut away the excess fabric before applying the finishing touches. This is known as the reverse applique method. In the other, we stitch out the outline of the design on the actual applique fabric first, cut out the shapes second, then stitch them onto our garment, finishing the design. This one is known as the traditional method. In our first episode of Express Crafts, we can see Miss Janet using the traditional method while creating a custom Valentine's Day greeting card. To rewatch that, click in the link in the description below. I'll show you each method from start to finish so you can decide which one works best for you. For those of you following at home, here is what we're going to need. Our duckbill applique scissors, our curved blade, our snippet stitch, coated non-stick scissors, a precision cutting knife, curved tweezers, tailor's measuring tape and paper tape, cutaway backing, crew neck sweaters, and your favorite fabric. I'm going to be using this plaid pattern that I like. It's a soft flannel. So I'll be using the Pellon 805 Wonder Under transfer web to make it sturdier. A small iron for fusing the web to the fabric, the 13x16 Mighty Hoop, and of course, our trusty embroidering machine, my Marquee 2001 with this new tennis panel from Ricoma. Let's jump into Chroma and digitize our design. Let's begin by creating a new file and importing our reference file to trace. I'm simply gonna drag it onto Chroma. Okay, for this one, I'm gonna zoom in so we can see what we're doing. I'm just taking the zoom tool and clicking on the S, and then the pan tool, and moving the canvas around to where I want it. Now we will use our complex fill tool to trace each letter. If you take a look at my screen, I went ahead and drew these white lines in the middle to make it easier for you to follow along at home. Because we have no curves on these, there's no need to hold any modifier keys. Just click and click, connecting all the center lines. You can see the anchor points showing up in blue. When we get to the last one right here, when we're gonna connect these two, we're gonna hold the Control key to complete the trace. And we can see our letter. Let's move on to the next one. Last line, Control, there's the art. Let me zoom out so we can see what we've got. So these are the tatami pattern you can see up here. We don't want that. We want to convert this into line art. Let's go to the selection tool up there and select all by dragging across. Click the Control key. We're going to convert this to artwork so that we get lines. There we go. It's very hard to see, but I promise you, we have some lines over there. How do we know? Because here we can see the stitches. Okay, now let's zoom in back into the A and trace the center, just like we did before. Complex tool over here, and we got about 4 clicks. 1, 2, 3, and Control click. There we go, that's our center. Now we Control click to get the contextual menu, scroll down to convert, come over down here, say artwork. We're gonna move this triangle to step 5 because when the machine is embroidering, we want that complete letter A outline in sequence by holding the command and the left side bracket. Now let's zoom out and do the art. And that's the center of the art, so it should be layer number 9. We're gonna hold the command key and one bracket, only one time. There we go, that's number 9. Now that we have the entire outline of the word sweater traced, let's turn this into an actual applique design and stitches. I'm gonna select all of them. We're gonna select all by dragging down, and we can see the blue highlights so we know they're all selected. Now we're gonna go over to the effects window pane, and you can see it right there. It's our applique effect. If I click that, Chroma is gonna go ahead and do the placement stitch, the tag down stitch, and the satin stitch. I'm gonna go ahead and hit so that magic happens, and you can see we have some outlines. Let me show you here on the stitches. Now they all say applique. Let's complete the design by typing out the word weather with our text tool and the geometric font. We're gonna type weather in all caps. We're gonna click apply. That's too close together. Let's come over here where it says spacing and put 68. Click apply and boom, there it is. That's exactly what we wanted. Also, let's adjust the height to be precise to 0.8 and click apply. Now with the selection tool, let's move it to where we want it. Remember that we can use Command key to nudge it around exactly where we want it. Line it up, and that looks pretty good to me. And let's delete the bitmap. Just make sure it's selected. Click delete, it's gone. And now we save it as a DST onto our thumb drive. I'm gonna put it on this folder called Patrick. That looks great. Let's start embroidering. First, let's do it the traditional way. Step 1, cut our fusible transfer web. Make sure you cut enough to cover your entire back side of the fabric. Let's smooth out the wrinkles. Now that it's nice and smooth, let's apply our transfer web. Notice that there's a smooth side and a rough side to the transfer web. What we are going to do is apply the rougher side to the back side of the fabric. We are going to fuse it using heat. Now that we have applied the transfer web to the back of our fabric, we are going to peel away the backing. Let's hoop it. Place it at the center of your mighty hoop. Grab the other part of the ring. Hover above the fabric and let it go. The magnet will do its job. Awesome. Let's put this into the machine. Since the mighty hoop we are going to use today is not in our presets here, we're gonna hit the custom tab. We're gonna click add new hoop. We're gonna enter on all caps, so press the shift key, MAG for magnet. We have the X size, which is 16 inches. We have the Y size, which is 13 inches. Our round inch is 0. Our maximum speed is 1000, which is what the machine can do. If you had a different hoop than the one we're using today and didn't know your center coordinates, all you would have to do is check the box here where it says frame set to the center point. Since I know the numbers for my mighty hoop, I'm gonna tap on the X coordinate and enter 2.34. I'm going to save that, and then I'm gonna zero out my Y. 0.00, save that, and now I'm gonna save the hoop. And now I'm gonna select the hoop. And now I'm gonna get my USB to select my design. Let's insert our USB in one of the 2 ports back here. Tap select design. The folder where we saved it, the DST file we wrote. When we see it loaded, we're ready to go. Press select, save it to the machine. Select the folder you want it in. Press save, go to the machine, find your folder, select your design, and once again it's preloaded, select it, and it should come up on the panel just like that. Go ahead and remove your USB stick. With our hoop and our design selected, let's select our colors. We want everything in black. My black needle is number 6. We also want to select the offset feature on the first step. This will ensure the hoop comes out after step 1 so that we have more space to maneuver the reverse applique. And last thing, we need to make sure that we are not in automatic, but rather that we are in automatic manual. This will ensure that the machine stops automatically after every color step and save. Let's move our design up. This way we can save the second part of the fabric for our second applique method. Let's trace the design. Hold the presser foot down to make sure it doesn't collide with the edges of your hoop. Now that we are ready, we're gonna hit start. Hold it until the ring completes and let go. Now that we have embroidered our placement line onto our applique fabric, let's take the hoop over to the crafting table and cut out our design. With our duck-bill scissors, we are going to trace the outline, cutting right on the outside of our placement stitch. There we go. Now let's grab our curved blades to do all the detailed work around the edges. Here we have our S. We're gonna go ahead and repeat the same process, cutting out the rest of the letters. Then I'm gonna come back and show you a neat trick to cut out the center of the A and the R. Now that we have cut all of our letters, remember the trick I promised to show you? Here we go. Grab our exact cutting knife, carefully remove the cap. One of your curved tweezers. Use the tweezers to hold the edge of the fabric. Apply pressure and carefully with your cutting knife, insert the tip of the knife on the edge of the thread and press firmly across. Let me put the blade inside so that you can see. And now we cut it. Before you snip, hold the excess fabric with your tweezers and go. Now that we have all of our letters, we're gonna hoop our sweater. Let's make sure we measure it correctly so that we can place the design in the center. Remember, we want to be about 3.5 to 4 inches from the top of the crew line. So let's unfold our sweater. Grab our tailor's tape. And measure 4-inch line. All right, let's hoop it. Let's get our mighty hoop. Remember that the bevel side of the magnets go down. Let's insert the hoop into our garment. Once it's in, let's align it. For those of you beginning, if you're not sure if you're in the center of the hoop, grab your tape and measure the edges. I'm pretty confident we're right on the money. Now let's insert our backing. We want to use 2 layers for this project. Fold them like so, and one more time, so it's easier to insert through our garment. Once you place it, simply unfold. And smooth it out. Let's place the other part of the magnet. I'll show you how to do it properly. Hover on top of the garment and then simply let go. The magnets will snap. And now let's take it to the machine. Since we embroider our placement line onto our applique fabric, the machine is ready to go forward onto step 2, which is the tack down line. We, however, just hooped our sweater and have to re-embroider the placement line, which means we must flow back one entire color step backwards to go back to step 1. Let's trace the design. Let's begin by pressing start. Now we are ready to take our hoop out of the machine so that we can place our letters. Since we now have our placement stitch on the garment, let's place our letters. And now we're ready to press our letters. Make sure that they're really in place and tap them down gently, just really quick. Now that we're done, we're ready to take the hoop back to the machine. Ready to place our tag down line. Let's press start. Remember when we set up the machine to auto manual? This is why it stopped. I just checked the design and since there are no issues, I'm ready to place our new stitch, which is the satin. Let's begin by pressing start. Since our satin line came out nice and smooth, we're gonna go ahead onto the last step and press start. And we're done. Let's take it out, trim it, and press it down. Let's unhoop it. Remember to be careful with those powerful magnets. Flip it inside out so that we can cut the excess backing. Grab your scissors and start cutting. Lift it. Be careful not to get your garment. Get as close to the line as possible. And here we have it. This is the complete step-by-step process for the traditional way. Now let's do it again, the reverse way. Let's trace. Let's embroider our placement stitch. Use your paper tape to secure your applique fabric to the garment. Now we're ready to begin with step 2, stitching our tack down line. Hit start. Now we take our hoop out of the machine and take it to the crafts table so we can cut it. Now grab your applique scissors and cut the excess fabric around. If you're having a hard time with the duckbill scissors, it's okay to switch to your curved blades to do a more precise cut right up to the tack down line. Now we get to put the hoop back into our machine and stitch our satin line. We're ready to go, and since we left at color stop number 3, we're gonna go ahead and press start. Since we are still on automatic manual, the machine stopped when it finished the word sweater. To continue onto the weather part of the design, we must press start. And here we have them, guys. Let me know in the comments which one you think is the pre-cut method, which one you think is the traditional method, and which one of the two do you think you want to do. That's it for today, folks. As always, I invite you to recreate the design using your own digitizing software and embroidery machine at home, or go to our website, Ricoma.com, and download a free trial of Chroma you can practice your digitizing skills with if you don't have your own software yet. If you want a zip file with the DST and the PDF that we created in today's episode, I added a link for you in the description below. Do me a favor, check out the previous episode where I share my predictions of the top 5 crafts to sell this year, the 2 best places to list and sell them, and I take you through the process of recreating a real-life best-selling item from Etsy. And if you like what we do for you here, remember to hit the like button, share this episode with the people you love, subscribe to the channel to help us grow, and turn on the notification bell so you'll always stay up to date with our latest episodes, because there's a world of creativity waiting for you right here at Ricoma Crafts. Until the next time.